They hate the same people that Trump hates.
Yes.
And
yeah,
they call us the libtards or something. They have these terrible remarks about people like us.
Welcome to this week's Wacky Moments of Leftist Extremism. Remember a couple of years ago when the media was concerned about the GOP creating a lack of respect for government institutions and threatening to destroy all of those government norms?
Trump has successfully eroded public credibility in our institutions. Sadly, the modern-day Republican Party doesn't share that same respect.
One of the great problems we have in society is the normalizing of the bad decline of so many things and institutions.
An authoritarian-oriented leader is elected, and then they start to change the rules.
Well, if the authoritarian is Democrat Chuck Schumer issuing diktats to end the dress code in the Senate so Senator Lurch Fetterman from Pennsylvania can take the floor and be comfortable while he grunts dressed like the Unabomber, well then respect for institutions suddenly doesn't matter to the media anymore.
Listen, you know, dress codes have long been criticized as a way of control and a way of, keeping people on the straight and narrow to adhere to sartorial standards. But the American wardrobe is dynamic, and the fuss over these changes really represents that this is cultural change in the making.
It's important to note that there are 44 standing rules of the Senate. None of them cover a formal dress code.
Oh, we should get away from all those rules. Kind of like the way the media lets Biden get away from his responsibility for the border disaster.
From New York to Illinois to Arizona, states overwhelmed, buses arriving daily. In San Diego County, Border Patrol forced to release about 4,000 migrants in just the past week. Processing centers and shelters filled to capacity.
The border is so bad that even ABC had to cover it on Wednesday. But of course, they never, ever mentioned the Biden administration or Joe's policies.
Local officials frustrated, demanding action in Washington.
This isn't a political situation. This is not a left or right issue.
Oh yeah, there's certainly no blame to be given. But at least they acknowledge that there's a problem and they covered it. That same day, NBC Nightly News completely ignored the Biden-induced border crisis.
Back now with a consumer alert. More than 80,000 cases of Kraft American singles have been recalled.
Well, 80,000 cases of cheese. That's certainly more important than 140,000 illegals that crossed our border already this month.
The company says a problem with a wrapping machine could cause the plastic film to stick to the cheese.
Sticking to the cheese. That's what the leftist media does. It's well established that Univision often acts like an immigration advocacy super PAC that's on the air. They openly cheer anything that keeps the porous southern border open, but at least they mention Joe Biden in their coverage.
Comenzamos, la verdad, de la mejor manera que se puede comenzar el noticiero hoy, con excelentes noticias, en este caso, para miles de venezolanos. La administración Biden ha ampliado el programa de TPS para quienes llegaron al país antes del 31 de julio de este año y ahora incluso tendrán derecho a obtener un permiso de trabajo desde el 20 de septiembre hasta el 3 de marzo del año 2025. Y escuche esto porque nos encanta. Va a beneficiar a más de 470,000 venezolanos.
Listen to this because we love it. That's advocacy, not journalism. And speaking of advocacy and love, CBS combined love and an agenda in an interesting segment this week.
We are here in Climate Week in New York City, and one of the events that they had actually was really interesting. My talk at the table is how climate can affect your dating life of all things. Have you ever thought about that? I've never combined the two at all. Well, a popular dating service, OkCupid, released data last year that revealed the number one, guys, deal breaker is not believing climate change is important.
I'm going to say if climate change is the reason for your breakup, it probably wasn't going to work out anyway. As mind-numbing as that segment was, I haven't even gotten to the clip from The View yet. Joy Behar thinks the only reason people don't like her is because Trump told them to.
They hate the same people that Trump hates.
Yes.
And they call us the libtards or something. They have these terrible remarks about people like us.
I, for one, don't think you have to be a Trump supporter in order to think that Joy and her coven are a gaggle of libtards.
AR-15s are weapons of mass destruction that should have no place in anyone's hands in this country. And if you vote Republican, I believe that you are complicit in that unless you are actively working day and night to change that.
Just change that Constitution you swore an oath to. Why would you hold up things like amendments that The View doesn't like?
Yes.
And
you're right.
they call us the libtards or something.
Speaking of libtarbs and people that swear an oath to the Constitution and then ignore it, well, Attorney General Merrick Garland was grilled by lawmakers on the Hill this week. And CNN really worked hard to get around those moments where Republicans hammered him, especially on the issue of Hunter Biden.
Doesn't it look weird that he's become this immediate success in the art world as his dad is president of the United States? Isn't that odd?
I'm not going to comment about any specific.
Not going to comment, not going to investigate. So
one thing I think we should know that Hunter Biden has actually struggled to sell any of these paintings. So Matt Gaetz's facts are actually not right when it comes to that question.
Ah, yes, Hunter has long struggled as an artist. I mean, most artists certainly get hundreds of thousands of dollars from Democratic sponsors from their first creations. I mean, that poor, long-suffering, oligarch, diamond-getting, struggling artist, Hunter Biden. But that's not the only Biden fiction we got to see aired this week. MSNBC once again raises the alarm. If you don't vote for Biden, democracy will come to an end. It's an epic tale about the end of the world.
Literally within a matter of months, just 14 months from now, Donald Trump could win re-election, and democracy as the world has known it in the United States would be over. He would fire people from the government who opposed him. He would work with red state governors to ensure that only Republicans ever won again. He would work with the Supreme Court to strip away fundamental rights of people, including the right to vote. And we would not be able to recover from that, and they know it.
Nah, we just know that the leftist media is full of fantastic fantasy rather than actual reporting. I'm Eric Shiner, asking you to report over to the MRC homepage. Click on that donate button to help keep videos like this one coming. Visit MRCTV.org for the latest in videos, information, and entertainment. And like, share, and subscribe to these videos on the platforms that let you see us. And we'll be back next week with another look at leftist media madness.